What is up, legends? We are back in another day. HypeCheck chilling. Second HypeCheck back. So this is Tuesday, and we have some interesting stuff, including we have a little class session at the end. So I want to get through all this. It's not a lot of stuff, obviously, but some pretty cool stuff. So the reason why you're looking at this right now, this Altalia, is did you know they have a jiggle slider in this game, and it's making a bunch of waves right now. People are like hyping it. What's this red text? Oh, you can't play it on QI. Whatever, that's fine. People is like it's crazy. It's like some dead or alive type of jiggle physics going on with this game. So now I gotta come in there and go look at it. I gotta see what the budget is, like if it's gonna be lit or not. It's got a 3.2 right now, probably because people can't play it on the platform. So that's probably why it's like that, because this is a full-fledged Altalia game, so it shouldn't really be that low unless they whacked out the gacha part of it, but we'll see. So next up, I was also invited into this Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill just recently, like last night. This actually looks pretty interesting, so you're gonna see this before I actually even do the video. This is it's a 1999 game, pretty cool and all that, but it reminds me a lot of like the old school Double Dragon and Bad Dudes types of games with a bunch of mini games and stuff like that. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So this review is going to be pretty lit. Damn, look at what the what was Bruh gonna do? Like he really beat up all them dudes by himself. Anyway, this one looks like it's going to be pretty lit. It already has 46 on the positive for the review, so I'm looking forward to this, and that's one to point out to you guys. Came out like last week. Next up is just recently out now, Elder Scrolls Castles. Literally like what this says right here, this Elder Scrolls or Fallout Shelter Skyrim. This should, like, it literally is that for those of you guys who are Fallout Shelter fans. This is up on TapTap right now. This came out. I'm probably not going to cover it, but again, I don't want it to just fall by the wayside. There may be somebody who likes these types of games, and you can have at it. Next up on the Billy side is Shining You. Now, the reason why I'm actually showing you this game is because there's a lot of games like this, but this is probably like the king right now. It allows you basically to be an idol, and then has anime with the idol on top of that. Like I'm concerned this might even flag type of stuff. Like if you wanted to be K-pop star or waifu idol or stuff like that. I know there's plenty of people like that. Dudes try to front like they don't like that too, but y'all know y'all be liking stuff like y'all be seeing them K-pop girls. Stop acting like you don't see them. You can actually make characters like that. Now you can't do that on you can't actually show much of it on YouTube. YouTube is gonna flag it. YouTube is not about to let you do K-pop anything. So obviously I can't cover stuff like this, but I did want to point out how good this particular game is. So just pay attention to it. You see, I booked it because I want to see it. Heck, I'm gonna try to be K-pop, make it on K-pop boy band stuff like that. I don't know what he's doing on the end with that mask, but the music be pretty lit. So the games are usually fun when you can go through. They have a couple of global games that are really good that we just can never show because they just go to flag hell, but it's what it is. Next up is Breeze Girl. There's another one that is coming soon, and for those people who like Maple Story, and there's a lot of Maple Story, this is a more anime version of Maple Story, and I just wanted to point this one out and give you the link for that because it's also going to be pretty good. Next up, for something that's already out that is getting a lot of press right now, that is really good. Again, not going to be something that I'm going to take on, and I have showed you guys this before in the past, but this is Monster Hunter Now, and people saying it's like Pokemon Go types of levels are good, and a lot of people are playing it, and I guess you're going to see people in the world walking around trying to catch monsters and stuff like that. It ain't going to be me. I'm not going to be walking around my neighborhood trying to get, getting cheated by some monster. I'm good, but it's not something that you can play at home. I wish you could, because then I would check it out. But here it is. Next up is Mad Tail, which has an update, and the new characters right now, as you can see, which is I guess This guy right here, Hassan. Oh, he looks kind of cool. I want to see this up close. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. This game is alright. I don't know if it's gonna actually catch on or not. They're trying. They're trying. They put some commercial budget money on this type of stuff. They bringing out some pretty cool characters. The character designs are actually cool. You know, kind of like fairy tale evil and emo type of stuff. So they trying out here. It's an idle game though, so that's against them. Next up is Grand Cross. Grand Cross right here has two new characters that you can see right here. You know, Rena and what's the other one? Iris. Yeah. So right here, I do play Grand Cross passively. I don't cover it, but I play it passively because it's one of those games you can just do that. You just come back to where you set stuff up, let it build, and then you dip out. Like you spend like 5 minutes in the game, and like, you know, hey, okay, everybody building stuff. We good? Anybody attack me? No? All right, bye. That's how you play this game. But here you go with these characters and everything else. Next up is a game that I actually forgot to mention. It could actually even have been hype. This game has been out before in the past, but this is kind of like it's coming out again now, a little bit revamped, and it's Nightcore, Sword of the Kingdom. Some people like it, some people don't. We'll see how that plays out, but I definitely wanted to talk about it again. Actually, I got the email yesterday about it again, so here it is for you guys. Another email that I got actually this morning, because it just recently did this morning, is Several Mortal Sins 1.5 year anniversary, which, as you can see, you get free tickets. So obviously hop in. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to use the Sexy Plus APK because I can. And, you know, and I got the pickup selection right there as well. See if we can get, I'm just going to hop in and see what I can get. There's like no video for anything else like this because I've long since retired that game. But, you know, if they're going to do something like this and give you free stuff, you might as well just come in and try to get it. And last but certainly not least, actually two more things at the end, is we're going to talk about the Sensory Tower stuff, and I'm going to break down because some people got confused about what I meant about stuff being in the EOS territory, and it's a little bit confusing, but once I break this down, you just start to understand where and why I feel the way I feel towards certain games and industry, and why I say 80% of the market is in EOS territory. So just first off, a quick glance at this. You know, Hoyo is just Hoyo at this point, except for when it comes to third, Honkai third. I don't understand why that isn't much higher. It's like down. There we go. Like down here somewhere. Where is it? Honkai. There it is. Down there. Down here. They announced the second one, so they're gonna be in a little bit of, you know, they're gonna come back with it. But between Genshin and Star Rail, 76 million for the month of September. It was 81 million the previous month. That is madness. And then the UMA is always the game that will never come global because they just don't want to do it. Like, UMA is just always UMA. Fate, just doing what it's doing. Dragon Ball is always going to be just doing what it's doing. It's solid. One Piece, Bounty Rush. They got the new Luffy Gear 5 stuff out. So, yeah, Summoners War is just kind of like steady. FGO is kind of like, you know, where it's at. Wait, where Epic 7 at? Oh, there it is, right there. 5 million. Epic 7 staying so I ain't no way in hell Memento Mori is making more money than Epic. I swear to God, I don't know what millionaire is giving them money in that game. That is the biggest lie in gacha. I can't, yo. People would say, you a hater, like, why you hating on Memento Mori is such a dead game to be making that much money. It don't make no sense whatsoever. Anyway, Blue Archive, 18 million, bro. And then it dropped off by 11, the following one. Arc Knight, I'm just going quickly do all this. Heaven's Birds Red, right? Can Heaven's Birds Red just come global? Stop playing around before you lose all of your hype and then nobody care about this game anymore. Like, it's a really good game. All right, so Coming in, this is where I get a bit scared because this is not a full month. So let's put that in perspective. 7 million for Ever Crisis for like half a month, basically, because it wasn't out an entire month. So you can't judge it on that. But it's still 7 million, still good. Very good. For the opening though, that's not good. For like for the opening, considering what it is and how good a game it is, like Ever Crisis is better than majority of the games up here, except for a Hoyo game. Just like it's not even me like fanboying or hating her. It's just a better game. It's giving you more stuff. You have more stuff to actually do. It's more free to play friendly than everything else on this list, basically. That maybe Nikkei. Nikkei is kind of free to play friendly, but I'm about to say 20. It only got 7 million. That's kind of distressing for me because I know how Square does when it comes to stuff like this. I'm pretty sure Square had something between 10 to 20 on what their forecast was, and Square is known to, when something underperforms, even if it's making money, to be like, we out. And that's problematic. Couple that in with the global side did worse at 4 million. So I don't know how that happened, that it only got 4 million. This stuff that's older that made more money. Granted that they were out, like they had the whole month, and this is only half a month. So like let's say they could have made 8 million, which is pretty cool. It's still troublesome for me. Like look at Dan Monty Battle Chronicle that people just rage out on. They got swimsuits this month, so that helped them. But that made 3 million. Like that made 3 million. That came close. So that's problematic. So I'm a bit worried for Ever Crisis right now. Square, just hold the line, Square. It'll be okay. I know how y'all do. Like I've been playing and covering your games and sponsored for years. Please God, like hold the line, please. Now, with that said, you start to hang and start to go down. You start to see these reds, and let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So around 30 is when the red numbers start to happen. And from 30 down, and the top 100 is all EOS territory. So I'm going to explain why that is now. So remember that number. So the problem with online mobile gaming is they take servers to actually run. Like look at that micro right there. That super, like Jesus Christ, it's 300K, dog. I didn't even see that over there. That's not even what I was going to. But 300K? Anyway, so say a company wanted to use this. This is just an example. That's 300K to actually get that. So they're down that. But we're just not even, that's whatever. But again, you get the gist of how much stuff actually costs. So we are going to bring this over. All right, so initially what happens, and the reason why I have all this open already, because obviously I'm trying to make a game. Why doesn't this want to load now? I was on this site like 3 or 4 days ago. There we go. So here's what happens. Let's pick a server. And let's pick, we need maximum. And we need this. So that, we can leave that. So, okay. So the way that it works with most servers, they have a hierarchy, and one of the first things that you actually need with for like online servers is you need the login server, which handles where everybody comes in at. You need to be the best as possible. When it's not good, is you see what happens when it's not good. When a company isn't prepared for how popular a game is, or for like what happened to Wayfinder, why that went kaput the first month and people couldn't even really play the game. You had people like review bombing, mad and pissed off and everything else. The reason for that is that they didn't have enough slots. They didn't have enough capacity on the login server to handle that many people. And they were saying, oh, we have bugs. We identify a bug. No. That's not true. Which would, that could happen if they have something wrong with their coding. But in most cases, that's not what happens. What happens is too many people trying to use the login server. That's all it is. There's no bug. There's no like and stuff like this. But what could happen on top of that is that you have people that you have codes that will sit there and say, okay, if X is online at this point in time, then they can stay online for a half hour, stuff like that. And then you have people who get in and then they'll use like a bot or something like that and stay in the game and like exploit stuff like this. So they have to get rid of them. And then like it's a hot mess all the way around when it comes to that. So what ends up happening is that you have like 1,000 people for a server that was only meant to hold 100. That's just an example. It's probably meant to hold more than that. But then you have to pay for that. So you already see how much this costs right now. This is just a rudimentary example. It doesn't necessarily have to be this server or this company or whatever else like this. I'm just giving you a general cost of how much that costs with this is just the login server, mind you, just the login server. And then if you need more than one login server, then this doubles. Or if maybe a triple, or maybe 4 times. So then that's like $12,000 or $15,000 or something like that. However, you come down to right here. A person made a post in here that was like one of the best Reddit posts I've ever seen in my life. How well they explained it, because this is exactly what happens. This example right here. So you get the gist of how much stuff actually costs. Let's say a USD as a USD server, 1,500 can host 12 copies of a game server. Steam stats says it's about 7,000 people playing Evolve right now. 5 players of the game, that's 1,400 copies that need hosting. 12 copies per machine, that's about 115 servers. At 1,500, that's about 172,000 per year. Plus any fees, generally several hundred renting a new server, and it's likely they need to keep more than that available so people can play at peak times, which is what I was explaining earlier. Like what you're gonna need more than one login server. Again, this is game server right now. This is not login server. That's game server. So game server right now is he's saying just at 7,000 people right now. That's just hard numbers. That's like what it is basically, and that's if you get a deal. So nothing saying that you are actually going to get that particular deal. It may even be more expensive, but let's just keep that in perspective that right now 7,000 people cost $172K. So all right, so we have that. So put that number, and let's say it's 70,000 people. Now you're looking at 1.7 million just for the game server, not counting the login server. When you start to see this number right now, granted, just because you're playing on a mobile or PC, that doesn't matter. Data is kind of similar when it comes to that, and it's still you still have to actually pay for the pricing and the slots and everything else like that. Now you start to go ahead and you start looking at these numbers, when you start looking at this, and remember I said that's where these a lot of these companies are starting to be at EOS territory. Now this is not the login server on top of that, and there's more servers on top of that. So let's say there's you have the security. Then the security servers are not that expensive, obviously, but you're gonna need them on top of everything else. And most servers do come with security, but you need more on top of that, because you have companies that will come in. And the funny thing is when companies don't get the extra servers to handle the security, those are the ones that usually get hacked. Sony is notorious for that. Sony just don't be buying security servers, and then they get hacked, and they just be there like, we ain't paying the ransom. Mainly because they don't have security infrastructure to handle it, because they just being cheap when they're $1 billion company, which don't make no sense whatsoever. Like, bruh, can y'all not? Can y'all not? But yeah, so you start seeing this. So granted, now once you start getting down right here, none of these games are really getting that many people. So maybe Blue Archive and Arc Knights, and then Treasure Cruise, yes. Princess Connect, no. Dragon Ball Legends, yes. And you start to look at like that 1.4 million, and look at this server cost. Now, granted, this was like a cheap estimate that he gave off. Them servers don't cost that. You like this, you start to see like this is the general pricing and stuff like that. That was him being nice. This is the reality of the situation right there. That's why I tried to show you both at the same time. That's him being nice. So again, all these servers don't really get that type of thing. Now you start hitting down to Tower of Fantasy. Tower of Fantasy has 200,000 people playing right now between PC and mobile and PS5. They're not making enough money to pay their own server bill right now. That's just facts. You start looking at Honkai Impact the Third, it doesn't matter because Hoyo got billions, so whatever. I don't even think they have that much population to begin with, so they might actually be in the black because they don't have that much population. But then Punishing Raven doesn't have a lot, so they might be okay. Eversoul might be okay, but you start to see the problem here going down this list, considering like how much. And Snowbreak had a lot of people playing. I don't think they ever went black. Snowbreak. So Snowbreak is probably not long for the world either. A lot of these companies are surviving right now because they actually don't have enough people to make their server costs that high. So they're probably just making like, squeezing by with like maybe 50 to 100K profit and stuff like this. Now, remember, you got teams that you need to pay. Collabs need to be paid if they get any collab, or if the collabs just want to come in and just do something cheap or free with them, if it's a friend or something like that. But you start going down this list and you start seeing what happened, look at poor Alex Fiction. I just did a video on Alex Fiction too about how that make no sense, how they made 120K and just said, I quit. There wasn't that many people to begin and in the server to begin with. I know y'all made profit. There is no way for y'all. There was no reason for them to quit. Hegan is dead. They're done. You look at. They done. For as much data as that game is, as large, they're done. I don't even know how Artery Gear is still here. I don't know what the hell happened to Archland, because that's like one of the best RTS games that we have on the market right now, even on PC. And that's probably done too. And it didn't even get the global yet, and it's done. Alchemy Stars, TAC, OP Symphony. So the purpose of all this is to show you guys perspective from a business standpoint. By all means, when I do stuff like this, I don't want you just to, just listen to me and say, oh, Scion, he knows, knows everything. No, I do this in front of you because I want you to be able to do it yourself. I'm gonna give you these links. I want you to actually to be able to go in and see how much this stuff costs. And then when you're looking at a game, when you should invest in a game, and you see stuff like this, you know what? If you look at Alchemy Stars, do I want to get that $100 pack and they looking like they barely paying their server? I think I'm gonna go play something else. That's what I'm trying to do, to give you guys a heads up so you can make good consumer decisions and not have money just lost to the ether when your game is just like dead and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, most of the games that have come out in the past year are all here in the red and dying, which is why I really said, but the gacha market is pretty much dead. The gacha market is over basically right now. If you haven't noticed, is stuff is like can make money and stuff like this, but as far as, remember, there's thousands of games and we're looking at 30 right now that are over, like that might be in the black, but majority of them are not. So this is just 30 and there's thousands that's under here. You have to put that in perspective. When people, because I had somebody like, the gacha market's not dead. I'm like, bitch. like hello, I don't know what copium that person was on. You're looking at 30 games and there's thousands, at least 3,000. There used to be 10,000. 7K of that is done, gone, peaced out. We got 3K now. And you're talking 30 out of that 3K is actually making $1 or more. Everybody else is just sitting there like broke city, basically. So, that's just how it is when it comes to the way that the industry is. The pandemic very much made this happen. But then the combination of the pandemic and everybody deciding that it was cheaper to make idle games was the 1-2 knockout for gacha. That's what caused the crash of the whole thing. But that's what caused the crash. The pandemic, then server prices going up because of the pandemic. So even what I just showed you went even more expensive on top of that. And it still hasn't recovered. It's still about 50% higher than what it should be right now. So that's I don't know what else to say at this point, but I don't want to see guys lose their money, or people lose their money. Just please make good frugal investments in games that you feel that has some type of longevity, or that will maybe be around for a little while. Or if you just want to have some fun and drop a few dollars and see how it goes, then you do so. But definitely this is something you should pay attention to. But I will point out that there is a swing, a margin of money discrepancy in this. They're going to tell you that it's 100% and it is not 100%. About a 20% swing, that it could be more or less. And that's just the way it is, because companies can over report and under report, basically. That's just how it is. And then there's stuff that doesn't even get counted. So, it is what it is. That is all I got for you guys. This hype check ended up longer, but I do like doing these because now I get to do this type of stuff, and it's kind of like in front of you. And there was a lot of things that got left out of Hype Watch because Hype Watch is kind of like, hey, can you do this on the big day on Sunday type of stuff, which means everything got bumped. Like not everything, but smaller stuff gets bumped. So I don't get to do stuff like this, and I don't get to showcase other games that may or may not necessarily be big hype. So the reason why this is called Hype Check is because this is literally every day where I'm like checking for stuff, and some stuff ends up hype and that goes on Hype Watch, and then some stuff is just like, hey, we should check it out, so that goes to Hype Check. and that was the whole point for it. And I always had HypeCheck, but I kind of abandoned it because I was like, it's too much work. But now that I'm looking at it in perspective right now, this is actually better. So I will catch you guys next video. Like and subscribe. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm getting a lot of people telling me that they like HypeCheck, and it's pretty cool. And it's not like necessarily like Hype Watch, but it's good to be in tune every day with stuff because just the one video on Sunday is cool and all, but what about the rest of the week? And no, I agree. Peace.